Thanks for watching. I got something special to show you. Stay tuned.
Alright, so this is your video, and I'm twisting your arm to do part 2. So my name is Jill.
And I'm Jeff, ArizonaHotHomestead.
And I have been squatting on his property for the last, since, was it the beginning of December, right? Or November.
Yeah, November-ish.
I remember I wanted to get over before the election. So I came from New Mexico. I've been living off in the dirt is what I call it, in a trailer. I converted a horse trailer to a little tiny house and a travel trailer, but I've had electricity and water on my property this whole time. So the only heat I had was electricity. So I asked Jeff, or he offered, and then I accepted, to learn how to be off-grid this winter. And so this is kind of my last video for off-grid. So if you want to see the whole series, it's over on my channel. The link will be below. And this is part 2, and you wanted to talk about...
Well, basically, what I want to kind of share a little bit is how things change so much, and when you kind of reflect on what you've done, you kind of sometimes think, well, gee, maybe I should have did it differently, but you're too far in the process to actually do it differently. So, and yet, as many times I've gone slow enough to where I think it's given me the opportunity to make changes along the way. There's still a lot of changes that if I knew then, I would have done differently. Some of that might be something, you know, as I build my place, 2x4 walls, I would have gone 2x6 walls instead. Spray foam, oh my gosh, I fell in love with it. I would do more of it.
Have you shown people what your actual hat looks like?
What the hat looks like? This?
Like,
the spray foam?
Have you shown the hat? Have you seen the hat, people? This is the spray foam hat. I do not have a spray foam hat, so therefore mine is in my hair.
So
when I did it, but not like him. He did the real stuff. I just did the can.
So, and then I think, like for an example, when I did use up all my power, and I went to start my generator, and it wouldn't start, and no one in town had a generator, and
this was in winter, right?
Yes, and there was a 2-week storm where temperatures were in the negatives, and so I finally got a hold of a propane generator. Hindsight, you got to start your generator more often. I think I got spoiled in the sense I had enough solar that I went 3 years without any use of a generator, and then I needed one, and because I haven't started it in 3 years, it wouldn't start.
And I'm going to add, because I just learned this, when I run my generator and then I turn it off, it doesn't want to start back up. So make sure you get everything done before you turn it off, because it might, I think it just got overheated, but you know, if it's in a crisis moment, you got to make sure you got everything charged and done. Not like, because my thought was, oh, I'll just turn it off, I'm going to go do some stuff, come back and turn it on. That did not happen.
And then you've got, for the solar batteries, you got to make sure that water stays, which reminds me, I got to check water. You got to check your water on a regular basis. There's been a couple of times
in the batteries, like,
in the batteries,
like a car, but same thing.
Yeah, because there's been a couple of times I've checked it and it's been really low, and that's bad for the batteries. You got to keep them topped off. So once a month you need to be doing this.
Is there a difference between summer and winter? Is it the heat that evaps it, or just time?
The boiling of the batteries is what does it. So which is good. The batteries need that. That's why when the water goes low, it can't boil as well. So what the boiling does is it helps knock off all the stuff off the plates. And
so it can be any time of year.
Correct, but most of the time it's during the summer. But still, I let that go, and hindsight, I should be doing that on a more monthly basis. And some of the other winter preps, you got to check your pipes on a regular basis, even though you've got maybe heat tape on it, which is a wire that heats the pipe, and you've got it wrapped up, and you may have a 3/4 inch pipe that's like this because of all your insulation. that still may not be good enough. So you still have to always be checking it.
You want to talk about the rats in your generator?
Well, see, that was one of the reasons why the generator didn't start, was because the rats chewed the wire on it.
We love our rodents.
So that would be another reason why you would also start it every so often and check for rat activity. Yeah, you've got to always be looking and for set traps, different types of traps. You know, here I thought one type of trap and would work, and it just doesn't. You have to have multiple types, and they're going to come at you like an army attacks you. So you got to do that, and then just some of the other preps is you just got to make sure that you've got enough propane. You got to have multiple cylinders, propane tanks. Because even if your main tank goes dead, which it actually almost did a couple of times. In fact, one winter it was down to like 5%, and they don't want it down below 20 when they go to fill it. But luckily, I had my buddy heaters and everything else that I was able to shut that one off basically and run off of those. So, so hindsight on that would have basically been check my tank more often and kind of check the weather more often, and then therefore I could have, you know.
Do you find that your off-grid life
Filled it sooner.
demands more attention to detail than your on-grid life?
Yes. Yeah, you have chores, if you will, and you've got to stay up on them. You got to do these little bitty things, because even though it takes 2 minutes to go check it, well, you think, well, gee, it's 2 minutes, no big deal, I'll take care of it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow never comes. Because when you think it's tomorrow, it's really today. So you gotta stay up on that stuff. You gotta. And what's sad is I kind of joke around how I am master of being lazy. so
I wouldn't know because I never see him. I'm over there. He never comes over to say hi.
You know, I've always joked that I'm king slacker. So.
How's it being cold when you're king slacker?
So, but yeah, it's yeah, that's pretty much just.
Where are we at? We're at like 7 minutes.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know. Anything else that comes to mind you want to?
Well, I want to ask you a really important question, and I was going to ask this on my channel and I forgot. So, one of the things that I've worried the most about. This has been so scary for me. And I talk about on my channel, grid up and grid down, that Jeff is going to shoot me and take my stuff. Do you think he'll shoot me? If the grid goes down and your family shows up, will you sacrifice me to save your family?
Nah, we're all right.
I'm just kidding. I just keep making that joke. If the grid goes down, I got 2 trailers and a little bit of food. and a dog that you can eat.
See, I've got in one of my buildings, I've got dehydrated foods and
So Mom, if you can't find me, I might be dehydrated in one of his buildings.
yeah, so I've got some dehydrated foods that will last me a few years.
Do you really want to tell people that?
What, did I got a stash? Well, everyone has stashes out here. That's the one thing when you go to the Walmart in town, their big section of dehydrated foods and their canning section is always empty because everyone's buying it up. So
that's true. I can't get canning supplies. I've been trying.
So, but yeah, a lot of people I hear are preppers, so we've got a lot of preps. So.
All right. So the last question: any regrets?
Absolutely zero, other than I should have did it sooner.
When you were younger.
Yeah. But the only other regret is a regret you can't really have, and that is I wish I would have known a couple other things beforehand. Like I said, like the walls being 2x6 type of thing. Just that little type of stuff that you would change that really doesn't matter, but yet it kind of does.
Well, I know because I'm a social worker and I did a lot of death and dying stuff. And what I learned is that when people are dying, they never regret what they did. They only regretted what they didn't do. So you did good, right?
I love this place.
I don't. That's why I'm moving. I'm just kidding. I was only here temporarily to learn, and so I'm off to my next adventure as soon as I can pull out of here. But I just want to say thank you to Jeff for letting me fail and have a little backup and learn a lot, because it worked for me to have a backup person. So thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
And we'll just hope the grid never goes down, because I don't really want to know the answer to the question, will you shoot me and take my stuff? All right, how do you sign off?
Thanks for watching. See you. Bye. Have fun.
Bye. We missed his dog. My dog's hiding, and I don't know where his dog is.